So I'm going to go through just some pieces of Sketchbook that I just found. This is more remnants than anything, but this is probably just as I began my college experience classes. I remember being asked to create some hourglass drawings, upside down, hourglass drawings for the Institute, and they were talking about their theme, Now is the Time. So they asked me to do that. For some reason this is stuck in here. This was a drawing that I did really, really young. It was the drawing of an alligator from a t-shirt that I had that my mom brought me from a trip she'd taken to New Orleans. It said Bayou Jacques. So I loved that t-shirt. I'm glad that I drew that so I can remember it. But that inspired some of these safari type things that I used to help brand the homecoming that I was in charge of. That I helped participate in the planning of. So just some safari type things, little canteen, this from the missionary journal, little safari man here that was kind of base. You can see the outfit is very much the same as Mr. Bayou Jacques, which is I think why I probably have this in that little sketchbook. And here's a little interesting one, a little symbol that I created for the Wildcats up at Weber State that was around. I got put on a couple of t-shirts back then. So I think that one's everything from this. All these are blank pages really. We'll transition to this guy here. This was a sketchbook that I got into figure drawing quite a bit, and also there's some things in here. The dates of this is from 2008 to 2010, so I was drawing in this sketchbook a lot as I started singing with the Tabernacle Choir. So you see a little pretty boy type thing. We saw that in some previous sketchbooks. And at this point I was trying to figure out how to create a really creative fan that I could use in the choir loft. So that's one of the early sketches of that. And some of these are really light. I'm just going to blow through them really quick because they're just really quick figure sketches. Here's a character that I really, really liked. So this gal here became a picture that I called Sourwood Mountain, which was a song that we had sung. And I put that head on this little body, and so this was kind of just my rough draft, if you will, and I was able to recreate it and digitize it and finish it up on the computer. Some random sketch of some G.I. Jane type person. Mac Wilberg type conductor. I remember having this sketchbook and sketching some of these things on my way to Deer Valley for a concert we sang in with the Utah Symphony. And these figure sketches are probably all just about 30 to 60 seconds. Just getting into that, realizing that was something that I lacked tremendously. So this was just kind of like a little workbook. And here I am trying to make something of it with a sketch of Tila from He-Man. And another political drawings. Never really drew a ton of political stuff, but here are some of the characters from the, what was that, 2008, Barack Obama first won, and the Vice President Biden, Sarah Palin, John McCain, and see some figure sketching in here, a little Neil Diamond caricature. Some of these I can recognize, some of them I can't. There's something that is of He-Man, maybe a Prince Adam over here, maybe, I don't know. And then what must have been really popular back in the day was The Office. So I've got some of these that are kind of a Michael Scott. But other than that, just some characters under Michael Scott. And I was working on a project that had to do with some hula dancers, and so you've got some of those. I can also see some sketches that the source material were my kids at the time, so that'll pop up every now and again. Here's another Michael Scott, Steve Carell action. Some more figures. And here's the final hula dancer that I landed on and was able to use and digitize later for, and you can tell that here's a little sketch, and then I needed to sketch the hand once again. And this was, at this point in time, just being a really, really inexperienced artist, I kind of realized that I didn't have to have it perfect all on the first try. I could use these, pieces from other things, and then on the computer I could composite them together and redraw it, or anyway, kind of a little revelation for me. So you see these other hands over here that I used for this little hula piece that I put together. Hula girl. And some more beginnings of conference sketches here. Back in the day when President Monson was, gosh, he would have not even been president of the church back then. Figure sketches. And we've got a picture that was based on Jenna Fisher from The Office. Another one, until we were watching The Office back then. And a little bit more detailed figure sketches here. I found a website that just kind of kicked out random gestures, and so every morning I made it a habit to put in some time to draw some of those. And again, I mentioned this revelation that I had, that I could try several times to draw the likeness of someone, and so I decided to start with the Utah Jazz. And so here's some exploration of me trying to figure out Carlos Boozer, who was a player on the Utah Jazz at the time. You even see the roster. I wrote down all the names, and then I would go get their pictures from online somewhere, and then in the following pages you'll see how many times I just explored with different facial expressions. And some thumbnails of each of them. These were the days of Kyle Korver's first stay here in Utah, Darren Williams, Ronnie Price. Here you've got a little kind of picture of Jerry Sloan, and then this is me kind of putting a thumbnail together of all the different players. Jerry Sloan, here Andre Kirilenko, some other figures that I was practicing with in the meantime. Emmett Kerr, Darren Williams, got a couple different versions of him there. And just some gestures that I was practicing with here. Different facial expressions from the Jazz players. This is pretty terrible paper to sketch on. It's just printer paper, really. Kind of that was the only thing I had, so. This is kind of the beginnings of a drawing called Sue Lemon, based on the song Suleiman from Neil Diamond, but I wanted to come up with a way to draw just a funny character that was, was selling lemonade. Sue Lemon. Oh, here's some notes. This is from the choir. Anything that's red came from the choir loft. So I'll have a separate video going over lots of those, but this is notes that I took during Joseph E. Worthland's funeral service. So not really notes, more pictures talking about him being a running back at the University of Utah. And that's it.